I love the journey of learning. So my work is never going to be static. I'm Bruce Marion, and I paint in acrylics. I like painting on stretch canvas. I kind of always knew it because when I was a little kid, I was really lucky and I didn't really realize it at the time, but I loved art as a little kid. But my dad went to art school when he got out of the Army in World War II on the GI Bill, and he loved art. He went to art school and he was really quite good. I still have some of his drawings and everything, and it's really cool to see those from back in the 40s and 50s. But he ended up, his dad said, "Hey son, I need some help in my business," which ironically was the picture frame business, very closely related. So my dad went to work for him and never really pursued an art career. But when I was little and showed an interest in it, he'd like, "Oh, here's how you do a little 1-point perspective, and here's how," he loved sort of showing me things and teaching me, and was always really supportive of that. I pretty much did know from a young age that probably art was going to be my thing. And my parents were so cool. They put me in art class. I was in adult art classes when I was 9 years old. I kind of knew I wanted to pursue art, so I applied right out of high school to Art Center College of Design, which is in one of the top art schools in the world, but it's in Los Angeles. It was near me, and happened to be a place my dad went to. So I went right in there and graduated with honors, really enjoyed it. It was very intense. I mean, it was a really awesome, well-rounded education. And the thing I loved about it was all the teachers there are professionals. They're not professional teachers. They're out working in the field. They're all, art directors or painters or artists. And on top of that, they were good teachers. But I love that. So you kind of got to see the reality of the field. It's not someone who had been teaching art for 30 years and never really plying their trade, so to speak. So it was super cool and just very intense. Like a lot of work, a lot of homework, a lot of late nights. What you'd imagine in any sort of intense program, like in law or in becoming a doctor, except I was becoming an artist. I think for me, art, there's some artists that focus in one area and kind of do that their whole life, but the exciting thing just in life in general for me is learning new things, and I realized that. And at first I resisted because, the professionals when you're getting started say, just do one thing, just do one, and that's hammered in all sorts of areas. And I realized when I got out of art school, I was an illustrator, so I did art for companies. And I never could just keep myself in one area. It was not in my nature. My nature is to want to explore and learn, and not in a fickle way. I would delve deep into areas, but it's like, why do I have to stop there? This is interesting. So as an illustrator and commercial artist, I would do, I illustrated a whole bunch of children's games, like the packaging in Toys R Us. I probably did 15 or 20 different games there. I did magazine covers. I did things for high-tech companies. I designed logos for companies. I just had this really interesting array of clientele where I was bouncing between, traditional art and digital art, and I love that learning. So my work in the show here, this is my 19th year here, has evolved so much. Like my first 8 years, I was all an abstract painter, which I learned so much from, and I was so thankful for doing that. And now I've incorporated all that abstraction into more of a subject matter, like my wolf, or if I'm painting a horse or a landscape. And I love the journey of learning. So my work is never going to be static. I'm not, it's not part of me, it's not my nature. It's like breathing to me. There's some times when I like when I've been doing a lot of work where I just need a break, like I can't look at it, but then there's a point, like a switch gets flipped where I have got to create something. It's almost like eating or breathing to me. And I've got to, I love taking a blank canvas or whatever, if it's digital, a blank screen, and all of a sudden you make something that didn't exist before, and it has kind of a life of its own, and people react to it in different ways, and they see different things in it, and it makes them smile, or it makes them think, or, it's just so fun and so invigorating. The act of creating it is interesting, and then what happens with it after it's created is also interesting. It kind of takes on its own journey that you really don't even know the journey it's going to be on, which is a trip. Where it's going to wind up in someone's home, or who's going to see it and who's going to be affected by it in a certain way. So it's amazing. This has been such a special place, and you don't really know it. Like when I first started here, you don't really have the aspect of what this is, but it's been a venue, first of all, of incredible growth for me, because you're here with people coming in from all over the country, all walks of life. You're hanging out with 100 of some of the best artists in the United States, in the country, and sometimes I call it artist summer camp. Like, I can't wait to come back and see my friends, see what they're doing. We learn, sometimes we collaborate. This year Judy and I started something a while ago where we do a portrait of one of the other artists here, and I love doing that. But it's such a special place that has been an amazing, again, that whole area I talk about of growth. I've grown so much here. I've learned to just interact. A lot of us artists are sitting in our studio alone. We're like, hermits in there painting. And I sell in 9 art galleries around the United States, which I love when they sell my work, but I don't meet my collectors that way, and I don't really get to see their reaction to my work. But this place creates a whole wonderful cycle of that, and then getting to work on site and then share our process, and people love watching that, like creation happen. It's magic. It's about human connection and sharing, and that's what this place provides, that space to do that.